You set an alarm for 6:45 in the morning last night, even though nothing on your calendar required you up that early. You could have set it for 8. You could have let your body wake up on its own. But 6:45 felt right. It felt like the correct thing to do. So that's what you did. You didn't think about it. You just did it. The way you probably do most mornings. The way you've probably done for years. That's worth sitting with for a second. Most of us have imagined we're deciding our own lives day by day, choosing our schedule, choosing our habits, choosing the shape of an ordinary Tuesday. But look closely at any given day and you will find a lot of it was decided before you got there. You inherited ideas about what a good life looks like, what a responsible person does, what you're supposed to want, what you're supposed to take seriously, what you're supposed to have achieved by a certain age. Nobody sat you down and handed you a list of rules. They arrived much like anything else, gradually, through your parents, your teachers, the people you admired, the people you were afraid of becoming. And at one point, some of those rules stopped feeling like rules at all. They just started feeling like reality. Take something as ordinary as work. Along the way, most of us learned that being busy was good, that having nothing to do could feel like a small failure. So we fill the gaps. We answer messages and check things. We find something that needs doing. And when we finally sit with nothing demanding our attention, we don't always feel relaxed. Sometimes we feel guilty instead. But who decided that being busy was worth more than being at ease? When did rest start needing an excuse? There are other rules that are harder to see. You're supposed to want more, a bigger place, a better income, more to show for your time. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. What's harder to notice is how rarely we ask whether we actually want them or whether we want what wanting them says about us. We want to feel like we're moving forward. We want people to look at our lives and see proof that we're doing well. And the line between wanting something and wanting to be the kind of person who has it gets difficult to find. Maybe that's why comparison works on us the way it does. You can be genuinely content with your life, then you see somebody else's, their house and holiday and career and car, and something that never bothered you starts to feel like a problem. Nothing about your life changed, and yet your sense of enough moved anyway. That's a difficult way to live, having your wants edited by people you've never actually met. It isn't only about success either. We inherit rules about feelings too. You're supposed to be confident. You're supposed to know what you want. You're supposed to move on and forgive and be certain. And when you're not, it can feel like something is wrong with you. But not knowing is part of being human. Changing your mind is part of being human. We just live in a culture where certainty gets mistaken for maturity, where the person who speaks with confidence can sound wiser than the person who says, I don't know, even when the second person understands the situation better. Some of these rules are old enough that nobody remembers where they came from. Don't make a fool of yourself. Don't stand out too much. Don't be difficult. Don't fall behind. Don't live differently enough that people start asking why. Because it isn't only failure we're afraid of. Sometimes it's looking unusual. We can tolerate a decision that makes us unhappy for years, as long as it still looks sensible from the outside. We stay in things because leaving would require an explanation. We follow routines because changing them would mean admitting we no longer want the life they were built for. None of this means the rules are wrong. Most of them aren't. Some exist because they're useful. Some because they protect us. Some because the people before us learned something the hard way and passed it down. The trouble is, we don't always separate a rule that protects us from a rule that simply survived, something handed down for so long that the reason behind it disappeared while the behavior stayed exactly where it was. Maybe that's worth a few minutes of your own life. Not as some dramatic act of throwing everything out. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow or move across the country. maybe the question is smaller than that. Which parts of your life are genuine choices and which parts are just habits with a convincing history? What do you do because you actually want to? And what do you do because you've always done it? Who are you still trying to prove something to? And what would you stop caring about the moment nobody else could see it? We tend to picture freedom as having unlimited choices. But I think freedom might be something plainer than that. Maybe it's just recognizing the rules you're already living by, looking at them honestly, deciding which ones are actually yours and which ones you've simply been carrying. You don't have to reject everything you inherited. You don't even have to change very much. You just have to know that you're choosing it. There's something genuinely comforting in that, because a meaningful life probably isn't one where you escape every expectation. It's more likely one where, little by little, you become aware of the ones you're living under and get to decide for yourself which ones stay. We spend most of our lives learning how to fit into the world. Maybe part of getting older is finally asking which parts of it we actually want to keep. Thanks for being here. If this made you think of a rule you've been living by without ever choosing it, I'd love to hear what it is. I'll see you in the next video.